Hey everybody, warmer days are upon us. That means a few things. Evals may be here. You might be looking at spring hockey, you might be even looking forward to summer hockey. When it gets to the off season, I always like to present you with alternative options to just being on the ice all the time because you deserve a break too. And what we do in my house for my son, who's a goalie, and my daughter, who's a skater, is use NHL Sense Arena, our title sponsor, as many of you know. And they just launched a new goalie mindset training with Pete Fry, which is all about building composure, focus, and emotional control that goalies need in big moments. And then for the skaters, they've really updated Dangle Pro with full ice scanning. So now you're not just standing still stick handling in isolation. You're handling the puck while scanning, making reads, and training your awareness like you would in a real game. And again, this uses mixed reality. So you're actually stick handling with your real stick and a puck. You can see it around virtual objects. It's super fun and it's super nuts. We shared some videos with that. I wish I had that as a kid. Check these deals out. They're offering 50% off an annual plan compared to paying monthly. Plus, you get a free hockey training ball, a free green biscuit, and free shipping on that. Or if you go all in with a 2-year subscription, you can get a new MetaQuest 3S headset for $100. That's $900 in savings. I have never seen them offer the headset for that price. So if that's what's been holding you up, this is the time to get it because it all is going to add up. All right. Head to nhl.sensearena.com/OKPH and use the promo code OKPH to save an additional $25 on top of the offers I've already mentioned. We have always loved NHL Sense Arena's belief in us and what we do as a show, and we always appreciate your belief in us as well. This is a great deal. Go check it out. And as always, enjoy this episode of Our Kids Play Hockey. Hello, hockey skaters and goalies around the world. Welcome to another edition of the Ride to the Rink. It's Lee and Mike with you today. And for all we know, you might be on the ride right now to the rink for an ID skate or a pre-skate or any other kind of skate. And what we want to talk to you about today, kids, is kind of how to approach the tryout before the tryout, right? These pre-skates, these ID skates. There's a mentality that we want you to have going into these, so that you understand what it is. And we don't want you to put too much pressure on yourself if you're going to a pre-skate or an ID skate. Now, for those of you who don't know what that is, sometimes organizations will have a skate before evals, right? It'll be called a pre-skate or an ID skate. And it's kind of an opportunity for you to get on the ice with an organization or a team prior to the tryouts. And look, sometimes these are done after your season has ended. Maybe a few weeks have gone by. You haven't been on the ice. It's a great opportunity just to get you back on the ice, get you moving, kind of see the other kids, your teammates, see the coaches, kind of get back into a little bit of a groove and a hockey speed if some time has gone by. But there's also sometimes that you may feel that, well, wait, if tryouts are in a week, is this a tryout? What are we doing with this pre-skate thing? Kids, I'm going to be honest with you. When you get into a pre-skate or an ID skate situation, don't think about any of that. Just go out there and skate and work hard. Always have fun. Might not be the best skate for you to say, well, I can just go lazy here today. No, you want to work at these things, but get the most out of them. That's the question I actually want you kids to ask yourself is, what can you take out of a pre-skate and an ID skate? Can you look at yourself objectively and say, okay, my endurance might have been a little down there. I'm glad I did that. I need to work on these aspects of my game. I wanted to meet this coach. I wanted to see where I ranked with this team. I wanted to see where I ranked against these players, right? These are positive things that you should be able to evaluate within yourself without worrying so much about where you're going to be evaluated, right? Especially if it's a pre-skate, right? Mike, let me bring you in here too. Talk to the kids a little bit about ID skates and pre-skates and things that they should be thinking about.
Yeah, so I think we all know that no matter what happens in a pre-skate, ID skate, a tune-up skate, a clinic, a camp, you're walking in, you're always being evaluated, always. And I think as a player, when there's coaches in the building, when you're going to a new organization, just think about all the little things that go into this ID time that you have, right? The minute you walk in the rink, does he carry his own bag? Does she shake my hand when she checks in? Is she checking in or he checking in by themselves? Or, are you over the age of 10? You're like, oh, hi, my name's Mike. I'm checking in for this tryout. And I can't wait to, have an opportunity to be on the ice. Like, be in a situation where you set the impression, because the adage of you never get a second chance to make a first impression is even truer in the ID skate. Now, you could be a skater that doesn't get on anybody's radar. And maybe if you didn't have a great ID skate, maybe you're lucky. But if you get on the radar, whether you had a big hit, had a great pass, did a great back check, did something on the bench that was positive, made a great defensive or offensive play. The minute the coach sees you and they evaluate you, then that's going to kind of mark you as a player that now, fortunately or unfortunately, you have to maintain that standard. And think about that mindset the minute you walk in the rink. When you get out of the car and walk through the doors, think about the fact that, and put in your brain that if you want, and this is not to put pressure on you, it's the reality of what you're doing, is from the minute you walk through those doors, you're being evaluated.
Yeah.
Not just when you get on the ice and when you get off the ice. And even when you leave, when you throw your bag at mom and say, hey, go get me a soda and where's my dinner? Like that is going to be that. Those are negatives that coaches respond to and look at. And I think one last thing I would say about if you're going to a place where you don't know a lot of players, understand that the other players are going to influence whether or not you make a team or not.
Right.
So if you're just a negative guy or girl, or you don't have you're just going to be, bitter about the whole process, or you're going to kind of showboat a little bit. Other players are going to go to their coaches saying, oh, the player was good, but I don't know. I didn't really like him or her. Like those are real things that happen. And just be aware of it. I mean, not that you have to kiss butt, but you do have to be cordial and be in a good space.
Yeah, I'll take this a step further. First off, side note, kids, if your parents are carrying your bag out of the rink, we see that. Your parents should never be carrying your bags. And parents, if you're listening and you're carrying your kid's bag, you look at them right now and that was the last time you carry your own bag. Okay, like that's part of it for me. Like that's a pet peeve of mine. But kids, listen. Here's the thing. There's a thing called fight or flight response. All right. So when we say to you, well, the eval's all year, that can cause a little bit of a jolt of anxiety, maybe. Or like, wait, what do you mean it's all year? I need to be nervous all year? No, you don't. All right. So if evals are all year, then they're happening all the time, right? So it's not something you need to worry about because it's all the time. It's the norm. What that does mean is that everything Mike just said, carrying your own bag, acting like a professional, working your butt off, passing the puck, learning how to be a team player, these are things you should be doing all the time. If you're saving it for a pre-skate, an ID skate, or an eval, if you're saving it or you only do it then, that's not good. That's not a habit. That's fake, actually. All right? And it's going to come out eventually that that's not really who you are. So the best players that I know at the highest levels have very high character. They work hard all the time. They are professional as often as they can be, which is usually all the time. They try for it all the time. No one's perfect. Okay? But if you start building these habits and do them year round, you'll be fine at all of these events, the pre-skates, the ID skates, the evals, because it's who you are. And that gets around. It gets around. That kid's a great kid. That's a great kid, right? You want that kid, right? That's the type of messages you want people to say. What you don't want to do, kids, is show up to an eval and say, okay, I'm going to be professional today. And then you make the team and we find out that you're really actually not who you said you were. So make it who you are. Evaluation of life, right? I'm going pretty grandiose here, kids. Just be a great person. Work hard. Have fun. We say it every episode, right? And no matter what you're approaching, whether it's a practice, a game, an eval, a pre-skate, have a high level of character at all of them. All right? They're all important if you really are serious about this. And I always say this, if you're listening to this show, you're serious. Okay? It's an all the time thing to be a good person, to be a good teammate. I love that Mike brought up what the other kids say because it's true. It's not so much you need to worry about whether people think of you, but it's have such a great character that it's undeniable for those other teammates to say, that kid's great. We love playing with that kid, right? That's what you want people to be saying. Not so much fear of what did they think of me. It's no, I'm gonna be me, and that's got to be good enough, right? So, kids, again, a little bit of a larger life stuff here, but it plays into the game. I'll say this to you too, kids. Mike, I'd love for you to comment on this. There's no in youth hockey. There's no pre-skate. There's no ID skate. There's no one skate that is dramatically going to change the trajectory of your hockey career or your hockey time playing. There will be days that dictate things in your career, but it's the summation of all of it. Who you are as a person will shine through whether you have a good day or a bad day. You can have a bad tryout and not make the team you want to make. It's if you're a good person and you work hard, you will get right back on track. It's not going to end your life. So don't go into any eval thinking, no matter what anybody says to you, that this is the most important skate of your life. All right. Now, if you play pro hockey or you play college hockey, those you will have skates like that. All right. But I'm going to say it again, even for those kids, who you are shines through. All right. Every great player, including Wayne Gretzky all the way down, has had really bad days at the office and really bad evals, and they still succeed because of who they are. Mike, your commentary on that.
Yeah, I love that. I love the idea that just be yourself. Don't try to be somebody you're not, but also just be aware that, it's just like when mom and dad, tell you, when you go to somebody's house, that you have to be on your best behavior and, make sure you don't eat with your hands and, wash up after yourself and thank them for the ride home. Like, we're reminding you of those things because you can forget, and you can be in a place where you're like, oh, this is not who I am. And be who you are. That's very important. And it's more important than actually how good a hockey player you are. Yeah. But those true things will shine through, and you'll get, and no doubt about it, other people that are at the ID skate will notice.
Yeah. I'm going to say this too, Mike. I rarely say this on the air. This is almost a guarantee that if you're a good person and that shines through, you'll be successful in things, not just hockey. Okay. It's not always going to go your way, but that's part of life. All right. That's why the consistency on this really matters. All right. Also, Mike said this, I'm going to bring this up too, kids. Don't be something you're not. Coaches used to love it when I would come in and they'd say, they do questions, right? Well, what kind of player are you? And I'd say, well, I really pride myself on being a playmaker, although I'm trying to work on all aspects of my game. All right. And I say that because I want them to know, look, I like to pass the puck. I like to move the puck. That's who I am right now. Right. It would be a mistake for me to say, well, I'm a goal scorer when I'm not a goal scorer. And then I go out there and I don't score goals. Like, well, okay, that kid's not a goal scorer. Know your strengths. Hey, I really pride myself on my skating. I work really hard at skating. Okay. And then I want to build my game in other areas. Kids, that's music to a coach's ears. Right. This is what I'm good at. This is what I want to be better at. All right. I've never had a player come in and say, well, I'm great at everything. And that was great at everything. Okay. It just hasn't happened yet. Maybe one day it will, Mike. Maybe one day we will. Kids, be yourself. Remember, it's normal to feel a little bit of fear or anxiety at an evaluation event. I'm not telling you not to feel that. That's normal. You're feeling it because you care. And that's why I want you to recognize that if you're feeling a little nervous, you care. You want something. Identify what you want and then just go all out and do the best you can. Have fun with it. You got to have fun. If you're not having fun on that ice, it's not for you. You got to find ways to have fun as often as you can. All right? Work hard, have fun, get better. That's going to do it for this edition of the Ride to the Rink. Kids, remember, wherever you're at on your hockey journey, we believe in you. You should too. We'll see you next time. Have a great skate today. Take care.